Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome to Post Cologne. Today I'm going to tell you about 10 fall fragrances I can't wait to wear. So let's jump right in. All right, so we're nearly at the end of summer and I can't wait. I can't wait for this heat to stop. I'm not built for the heat. I got too much ginger in my DNA and it's just, I feel like I'm going to burst into flames some days. I've had it with the heat. I love the fall, I love the spring, I love that cooler style weather, and I love my fall fragrances. I just cannot tell you how much I'm missing my fall fragrances. So I have an awesome lineup of 10 fall fragrances here. Some of these are my personal favorites, they're my go-tos, there's the ones that are near and dear to my heart. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. So kicking things off, we are starting with one of my absolute favorite fragrances of all time. It's just an absolute fall banger. This has been sitting on my shelf screaming at me all summer because I just cannot wait to wear this again. I love wearing this in the fall. You've probably already heard of it, but if you haven't, it's Viktor and Rolf's Spicebomb, the original. Now this is just, as the name suggests, a spicy medley of just pure perfection. It's got chili and saffron and cinnamon, leather, tobacco, some vetiver mixed in there, a touch of sweetness. Beautifully branded fragrance, sexy, masculine, spicy, touch of sweetness, and an absolute lady killer. I love how this smells. Women love how this smells. It's a banger of a fragrance and it's one of my favorites of all time. I absolutely love Spicebomb, the original. The Spicebomb line as a whole has some awesome fragrances in it, but I always want to reach for the OG because the OG is just where I started in the line, and I will love this fragrance for all time. If all the Spicebombs went away and I can only keep one, the OG is the one I'd keep. If I had to get rid of my entire fragrance collection and I can only keep a few fragrances, Spicebomb, the original, would be one of those for sure. Love this fragrance. You can pick it up for about $70 at places like Joma Shop. I'm gonna have a link down in the description for all of these fragrances, including Spicebomb. Longevity on this, I get easy 6-8 hours, no problem. This pushes off fairly well, cuts through the cold. Beautiful fragrance, go check it out. That's Viktor and Rolf's Spicebomb Original. All right, so up next we have another one of my absolute favorite fall fragrances. I picked this up last fall and I couldn't get enough of it. It was just something I was constantly reaching for and it blew my mind the first time I got my nose on it. That is Salvatore Ferragamo's Uomo Signature. Now this fragrance here is so friggin' good. It has these spices, this sweetness, and this coffee note to it. You get this pink pepper, cinnamon, tonka, and the coffee note to this. This is so sexy, masculine, elegant, absolute lady killer, and the performance on this is friggin' stellar. I get at least 8 hours of longevity, and the projection on this in the cold weather it can be monstrous. For in the first hour and a half, 2 hours, this really pushes out hard, and then it sticks around, it lingers around, and it stays consistent for the duration of this fragrance. I get amazing performance out of this, and the scent profile is absolute bliss. The performance on this, I had someone smell me across a parking lot one time. I was waiting at the front door of this building. I was the only person there. Someone was walking across the parking lot and I hear this group of people talking about someone smells so good. And as they got to the door, they had asked me, is that you were smelling? I said, yes, of course, that's me you're smelling. I'm wearing Salvatore Ferragamo's Uomo Signature. Performance is awesome. Scent profile is ridiculous. It's so good. If you haven't tried this, you need to check this out. This is about, what is it, about $50, $60 on most discounters. Link's gonna be in the description. Check this out, Salvatore Ferragamo's Uomo Signature. All right, next up we have a fragrance that is from a house that you probably don't really hear too much about in terms of like being really awesome fragrances. It's not your typical designer fragrance, it's not your typical designer house, but it's something I really enjoyed and that blew me away the first time I smelled it, and that is Diesel's Bad Intense. Now this fragrance absolutely blew me away the first time I smelled it, and it caught me by surprise because I wasn't expecting much from it. It's from Diesel, it's kind of almost a little cringy. Beautiful fragrance. This starts off with like a nutmeg, a cinnamon. At the base, there's this white tobacco and some woods. But in the mid, there's a note that I don't think I have in any other fragrance in my collection, and that's a caviar note, which when you think about it, you're just like, well, does this smell like fish or something like that? No, it does not. It does not smell like fish whatsoever. What this caviar note does, it's almost like a salted musk that comes through. It just kind of elevates like some sweetness that's in this. It almost elevates all the notes in this, from that nutmeg and that cinnamon spice, that caviar with a little bit of like I said, salted musk sweetness to it, and then in the base with that tobacco and some of those woods. It just all comes together to make a very sweet, spicy, masculine style fragrance. And the performance on this is ridiculous. I was not expecting this to perform super well, being sort of a cheap fragrance from the Diesel brand. I get easily 8 hours of performance out of this. Projection, the first 2 hours pushes out pretty heavy, beyond arm's length before it settles in. And you can pick this up from places like Joma Shop for about $40, $45 for, I think this is a 70 ml, 60 ml. Somewhere in the neighborhood. Links in the description to check that out. Beautiful fragrance, caught me by surprise. I was not expecting much when I first smelled this, but when I did, I fell in love. One of my favorite fall fragrances. If you haven't checked it out, I think you should get your nose on it. That's Diesel's Bad Intense. All right, so up next, we have a fragrance that's been in my collection for a very long time. It's one of my absolute fall favorites. This is what I wear when I want to feel a little bit more mature, still modern, sexy, elegant, sophisticated man, and that is Bvlgari Man In Black. Now this one has been said to be kind of like the more mature version of Spicebomb. Maybe I'll agree with that. I don't think Spicebomb is necessarily like a juvenile fragrance. I still think it's very mature, modern style fragrance. But this one just has that more kind of gentlemanly, modern feel to it. It starts with some spices, some tobacco, some like boozy rum, moves into like some leather, a little bit of florals in the base, and then it has like a beautiful mix of like tonka and benzoin and some woods at the base. Give it kind of a sweet, woody base to it. Beautiful style fragrance. This has gentlemanly, masculine sexiness written all over it. It's like, if you want to feel like a gentleman, it's like a James Bond style fragrance to me. It just, you have that kind of black tie feel to you, but you can wear this casually as well as you could formally. Beautiful fragrance. It just has everything you need from the spicy sweetness, that warm, cozy tobacco style feel to it. Banger of a fall fragrance. You should be definitely checking it out. You can get this on discounters for about $70 for, you know, or 100 ml. Totally worth the price. This is a little bit more expensive in terms of this list. This is probably the most expensive fragrance on this list from discounters. Worth every penny. Having this in your collection, just, you can dress this up, you can wear it casually. Banger of a fragrance. Something you should be checking out. That is Bvlgari Man In Black. All right, so up next we have a fragrance that's a bit challenging for some people, but it's one of my favorites. I absolutely adore this fragrance, and it is Encre Noire, the original. Now, like I mentioned, this can be a little bit challenging for some people. You may or may not like it. This is one of those ones where you fall into the camp of you either absolutely love it or you just can't stand it. For me, it's an absolute love. This is perfect for those fall days that are like rainy, foggy, a little dreary out. This fits so perfect. It's cypress, it's vetiver, it's musk, woods. It's got like the dark, dank forest sort of feel. It's very moody, very rooty, very earthy, sort of inky. Fun fact, Encre Noire in French translates to black ink. So like this is, the bottle's kind of styled after those black ink wells where you dip your calligraphy feather in and do your calligraphy stuff. Fits this perfect. That's exactly what this is. It has that inky, moody, rooty style feel to it. Strong, very distinct vetiver in this. Like I said, not for everybody, but for those who like it, they love it. For a price point, this is like $27, and I don't know how Lalique pulled that off because the quality of this juice is like through the roof. This is a way better fragrance than $27. It's this friggin' steal of a deal. The best way I can actually put this is if like Gomez Adams or like Edward Scissorhands had like a date night fragrance, that's what Encre Noire would be. And I mean, if that's not, I hope that people know who those people are. I might be showing my age, but if that's not a selling point for you, like Morticia Adams is a babe, and like a young Winona Ryder that Edward Scissorhands, he was pulling chicks like that, and that's what I think they must have been wearing, is something like Encre Noire. Beautiful fall fragrance. I absolutely love this. Could be a challenge for you, but if you're willing to step out on a ledge, give it a shot. I think you may like it. I love it. That's Encre Noire, the original. All right, up next, we are moving into a certified cheapie and also another one of my favorite fall fragrances. That is Reyanne Traditions Insurrection 2 Wild. Now, this fragrance has said to be a clone of another very popular but now discontinued fragrance, and that is Mugler's Pure Havane. Now, this one is very hard to find nowadays. You can find it on eBay, but personally, I think the prices people are charging for this are kind of ludicrous, especially when you can get pretty much the exact same feel and vibe from the Reyanne Tradition. And the Reyanne Tradition is only $25 at most discounters. I'd say this is a very, very good dupe clone of the Mugler Pure Havane. Slight differences, but for the most part, this is what you're getting is from this is the Mugler Pure Havane. Beautiful pipe tobacco, sweet honey, vanilla, spice sort of medley going on to this. I have to put this in the air because I love wearing this in the fall. Sweet tobacco, honey, vanilla, and a perfect medley of spices. It's just got that kind of gentlemanly feel to it, that masculine edge to it, but just enough sweetness to still make this kind of fun and playful, along with that kind of masculine edge to it. Beautiful fragrance, perfect for the fall. This is like a date night fragrance you can easily pull off, but like cool fall days, mostly in the evenings, I think is where this goes because of that sweetness and that tobacco vibe going on. But it just works in the fall. It just has that fall vibe to it. It's like a beautiful, sweet, smoked cigar is kind of what's going on with honey and that vanilla. Beautiful fragrance, absolutely love this. So glad I picked this up. Longevity on this, 6-8 hours, not a problem. This cuts through the cold, very nice. It's very warm and cozy, so it's perfect for those cooler evenings. And the projection on this, pretty good. First hour or two, it's pushing out pretty good before it settles in. So for the price point you're paying on this, $25 to get that kind of pure Havane experience. Perfect fall fragrance, something I'd highly recommend. If you haven't checked it out, you definitely should. That's Reyanne Traditions Insurrection 2 Wild. All right, so moving right along, we have another banger of a fall fragrance. You've probably already heard of it before. If you haven't, you definitely should be, and that is Azzaro's Wanted by Night. Now this fragrance has been getting a ton of hype in the community for quite a while now, and in my opinion, deservedly so. This is a beautiful fall winter style fragrance. It's sweet, it's spicy, it's warm, sexy, cozy, inviting. Love this fragrance. This is so, so good. I cannot wait until the cooler weather to start wearing this again. My girlfriend absolutely adores how this smells. Anytime I wear this, she's always, as soon as she hugs me when I come meet her, if she can smell me down the hallway, because the projection on this is pretty good, buries her nose in my neck. She just sniffs away at this. She loves this one. And let's be honest, that's a good sign. If your fragrance is making your girl just go a little bit crazy about you, I mean, you should be checking this out. It's got a nice mix of like some spices, some sweet notes, tobacco, cinnamon. The base has got some like red cedar that mixed in there, give it a nice kind of like sort of a woodsy, vanilla-y base to it, but it's got that sweetness and that spice from the tobacco and the cinnamon in there. Beautiful fragrance. This is more on the sweet side than the spicy side. So like fragrances like Spicebomb or Man in Black, definitely on the more spicy side, whereas this one is more on the sweet side. And even though it's sweet, it's got that playful vibe to it. It still holds that maturity to it. So it's not an overly like youthful sweetness to it. I think most, if not any age, can really pull this off. Beautiful, beautiful date night fragrance. You can wear this in the winter, cuts through the cold. Performance on this, 6-8 hours, no problem, pushes through that cold. Projection, first hour and a half, 2 hours, beyond arm's length before it settles back in. You can find this on discounters around $50, $60 for 100 ml. They're a little tricky to find sometimes because they do kind of fly off the shelves fairly quick, but I'll leave a link down in the description for a place where I did find this for sale. But if you can scoop this up off a discounter, I would highly recommend it. Beautiful fragrance, worth every single penny. That is Azzaro's Wanted by Night. All right, so up next we have one of my favorite vanilla-based style fall fragrances. I was absolutely in love the first time I ever smelled this fragrance, and that is Mercedes-Benz Club Black. Now this fragrance, to put very, very simply, is just a vanilla bomb. It's just got the most beautiful, delicious vanilla. It's vanilla with some jasmine, a little bit of incense and some woods. So it does have like a tiny bit of floral and a tiny bit of a little smoke to it. But what you really, really get out of this is that vanilla. It's just a vanilla fragrance through and through, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. I would say this is more on the masculine side, but this is something that could be a unisex fragrance. So I think the ladies can pull this off just as much as the men, but this is more on the gentlemanly side. I don't think men are gonna have any problem wearing this one because it just has that sweet, creamy vanilla vibe to it. Absolutely, after spraying that, my mouth is watering right now. It's just Such a good vanilla fragrance. I absolutely love this. This is an absolute banger. In the fall, this pushes through the cold. It's just a very warm, cozy, inviting, sexy, sweet style fragrance with just a little bit of that smoke. Like I said, a little bit of smoke, a little bit of woods, and a little bit of florals to kind of offset it from being overly sweet. Beautifully blended fragrance. The Mercedes knocked it out of the park on this one. This can be a little hard to find. This kind of comes and goes from discounters, and it'll disappear for a few months and then it'll reappear. I believe Fragrance Buy said that they're going to be restocking this on September 7th, 2022. So that's a couple days from now at the time of filming this video. And if I remember correctly, this was about $60 or $70 to pick up a 100 ml. Is that what this is? This is 100 ml. $60, $70 for me, worth every penny. This is backup bottle worthy for me because it's so hard to find. When they do restock it, I'm gonna be pretty hard pressed not to buy another bottle of this. Beautiful fragrance, love the vanilla style to this. Perfect for fall, you should be checking it out. That is Mercedes-Benz Club Black. All right, so next up we have a fall fragrance that's moving away from the kind of spicier side or the sweeter side, and we're gonna talk about one that's one of my favorite wood style fall fragrances, and that is Bentley For Men Absolute. Now this is probably one of my favorite woods style fall fragrances. It's just very sophisticated, elegant, manly, with like a perfect amount of like sweet touches to it and like a little bit of smoke to it that mixes with that just pure woods style to it that makes this just an absolutely beautiful fall fragrance. I gotta get some in the air here. It opens with like a little bit of ginger and pink pepper, so there is some spice to it and like a little bit of freshness, but this moves into like a very woodsy with a little bit of smoke style fragrance. Best way I can kind of describe this is like walking down the lumber aisle at a hardware store, like a Home Depot or wherever you get lumber these days. I don't buy a lot of lumber, I don't know. But anytime I do, like this is just like, as soon as I spray this is what I think of. It's just like the lumber aisle at a hardware store in like the best sort of way. It's just spicy, woods, a little bit of smoke, and just a little bit of sweetness to kind of offset it from being like too far to that one side. It's a beautifully balanced fragrance. I can't believe Bentley sells these fragrances for the price they do. This is $35 on most discounters. They must just like sell a ton of cars and just don't even care about the profit on these, because for $35, the quality of juice in here is through the roof, way more than $35, and I absolutely love this fragrance. Performance on this, I get about 6-7 hours, no problem. This cuts through the cold, and this is just perfect for like a fall day, a cool fall evening. You could dress this up or wear it casually. I think this is fairly versatile in terms of occasions, and it's just a scent profile that just works. Beautiful style woods fragrance. I think you should be checking it out. That's Bentley For Men Absolute. All right, last but certainly not least is another one of my favorite fall fragrances, and it's probably not the one you're thinking of. It's Halloween Man Shot. Now, if you're familiar with the Halloween Man line, a lot of people talk about Halloween Man X. That's the one that gets all the hype. That's the one everyone talks about. And it is a beautiful fragrance, don't get me wrong, I really like it. But I really like me some Halloween Man Shot. I think this is a fragrance that not enough people talk about. It does not get nearly as much attention as it should. And I absolutely love this one in the fall. It's an ambery, spicy style fragrance. It's got some powdery vanilla to it, a little bit of leather at the base. It opens up with this like cardamom, black pepper, lemon daiquiri style opening. So it's got a little bit of sweetness with some spice. Then it moves into some more of that kind of florals with like a little bit of iris to give it some powderiness, some vanilla and some leather at the base. And it's just a beautiful mix of sweet with a little bit of spice and just like that masculine sort of like woods and leather that comes through. Gorgeous, gorgeous fragrance. Absolutely love this one, and I think it deserves way more hype in the community, and a lot more people should be checking this out. Performance on this isn't stellar. Like, it gets about 5-6 hours, which is about average. It's not a beast mode performer button necessarily, and projection is about first hour and a half. It pushes out about arm's length or a little bit more before it settles in. But this is like more of an intimate style fragrance where you got to get a little bit closer to really experience it. Perfect for date nights. It's warm, it's cozy, a little bit of spice, just enough sweetness to it. Very well blended, and for the price point of $30 at places like Joma Shop, absolute steal of a deal. Really enjoy this fragrance. average performance, above average scent profile. One of my favorite fall fragrances. You definitely should be checking this out. That's Halloween Man Shot. All right, so there you have it. Those are 10 fall fragrances I absolutely cannot wait to wear. Like legit, I'm dying to wear these fall fragrances. I'm so sick of summer. I'm sick of it being hot all the time. I'm sick of being sweaty. I want some cooler weather. I want the fall to come. I want to wear these fragrances so bad, especially after smelling them all in this, just doing this video. I'm dying for these fall fragrances. So links are gonna be down in the description for all of these. You can go check them out. I highly recommend each and every one of them. If you don't have them in your collection, you should be checking them out. And let me know in the comments, what can't you wait to wear this fall? Like, what is something that you're just dying to wear once the weather gets a little bit cooler? Click on that comment box, start typing right now. Let me know what you are just dying to wear this fall. And also leave some recommendations. What should I be checking out that I may not have in my collection? Let me know in the comments, what should I be checking it out? Give me some recos. Love getting recos from you guys. You guys are awesome. Appreciate it every time you do it. So go do that. Go click on the comment box. Go do that right now. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all next time.